Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take a few minutes to actually talk about, while I am here in one of our foster kids' bedrooms, I wanted to talk about their personal belongings. I had a really interesting person reach out to me in one of our videos, and they shared a little bit about their foster care experience. One of the things that they said was that they had a bad experience in a foster home because they had an item from where they came from their original home, and it was taken away from them. And that was all that they had from where they came from their home with whatever family member they were living with at the time. If you are in the process of licensing as a foster parent, or a foster to adopt parent, or a adoption only parent, and you're going through the state, let me try to provide you perspective. I'm sure you've been told in some of your training that we, as prospect foster to adopt, or adoption parents, we need to support where these kids are coming from. So how do we do that? The best way we can do that, guys, is forming a relationship if it is appropriate, and so long as you talk to your caseworker about that. You can even talk to the CPS or Child Placing Services caseworker that is assigned to that child if you are able to make connection and form a relationship, a healthy relationship, with the biological parent or the family member that is trying to work certain plans or programs assigned by the judge to reunify with that child. The child is going to come to your home with whatever is on them and possibly a bag full of odd end things. Sometimes it has clothes, sometimes there are shoes, sometimes it's just toys. It could be all three. You won't really know that unless you are actually dealing with a legal risk case or a pre-adoptive case. In both situations, those cases, I should say, have a lot more information by the caseworkers, by the agency that you may be with. And you may be more understanding of what they have and what they don't have, which allows you and your spouse to go out to a store and purchase whatever you feel that child might actually need to help fill certain voids. But if a child comes to your home as an emergency placement, which can be at any time, day or night, they're going to come with whatever they have. And more times than not, it's not a whole lot. Whatever they do have from home, it is very precious to them. They cherish that. That's the only connection that they have to their former life. When they are taken from whatever home they're coming from, they're not fully aware of the negatives or the harm that actually came to them. They're not aware of that. To them, it was just life. To them, that was family. And this is why there are a lot of behavioral challenges. There are a lot of transition issues. There's a lot of problems in the first 6 weeks or so that a child is freshly placed in a foster to adopt home, sometimes even a pre-adoptive placement. If a child comes into your home and they have certain artifacts from their life, but perhaps those clothes or those toys have a particular smell, or they're very dirty, or there's a risk that it might be carrying certain insects, there are ways of handling that with that child. Number one, please don't take away permanently that one or several items that child holds very dear to them from their home. They have to have that connection. That will actually help them be more transitional, more redirectable in your home, in y'all's life together, than you could possibly imagine right now. I understand that you want to give to them and you want to provide for them, but this is all they have from what was yesterday. And they're in your home today. So today and tomorrow is what you have to build on with this child. If you are concerned about the toy or the clothes or whatever they bring home that carries over certain things, you can talk to the child about cleaning and have the child with you while cleaning that particular item. If they don't want that item to be clean because they recognize the smells, that smell is so powerful to our senses. It unlocks memories, good and bad, that helps that child and could potentially help you as a foster and pre-adoptive parent rehabilitate that child. We had a 10-year-old foster child in our home last year in 2018, and she had very specific clothes items from her other home that she came from, and she did not want those washed. She wanted the smell to help her while she was adjusting to a new home, a new family, and just everything new. So because the clothes did have a particular smell to them that was a bit offensive to other senses, I offered to put the clothes in a little cloth bin in her room in the shelving system, which you can see right there. It's very similar to the other room. And we would put it in the corner here or wherever she wanted to put it. And I offered to put a dryer sheet inside the bin with the clothes. That way, when you walked into her bedroom, you could not smell some of the scents from that home that she came from, which again could be triggers for other things for other people in the home. But it allowed her to still have that clothes item, and it had some of the scents from her home, and there was a little bit of a freshness aspect to it because of the dryer sheet. So it was a happy compromise. There was a blanket from our younger foster child that brought in, and unfortunately that blanket was probably responsible for contributing to her pink eye, which the doctor did tell us we did need to go ahead and wash all bedding. So because she was so young at 3 years old, when she was at daycare, I washed the blanket and had it ready for her to go when she got back to our house, and that evening she was really none the wiser. Not every child is going to be like that. Every child is different. Every situation is different. All I'm trying to encourage you as a future foster or adoptive parent, or even if you are currently fostering or adopting, maintaining that connection for that child, even though you may want to adopt them, you may want to hold them close to your life. Remember, they're not your children. They are coming from a different place, and they're coming from another person that gave them life. You are here to protect them and nurture them and to provide them a different quality of life. But by no means do you want to rob them of the life that they came from. You want to help them. You want to help them walk the healing path and to rehabilitate from any traumas or any type of abuse or neglect that they experienced from that former place. But in order for them to work with you and for you to be able to reach them, you do have to understand where they came from. And understanding that means to at least keep some aspects of their past connected to them. I hope this was helpful for you guys today. If you are a foster or adoptive parent and you've experienced this, or maybe this is a concern of yours, and perhaps you're still dealing with this, I'd love to hear from you guys. Please comment down below, and thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!